That's happened now.
It's never worked.
Alright. Shout out to Survival Bob for subscribing before we even got started. um,
That's
Alright,
some dedication.
that's dedication. Alright, let's switch over with a fancy transition. And while that's getting, alright, here we go. Fancy transition. Woo! Welcome to the NMS CD. Alright, let me open up the piece of paper. Alright, so how was your week, Blenderman?
Uh, Uneventful. Is that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing
I
happened.
I had a pretty good week. I got a lot done. Um,
Oh man, I should really get back on like doing stuff. I've been skimping out on this project for a long time. Especially after I finished the fonts, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm done. This is the last thing I'm ever gonna do now.
but I mean, these
But
fonts look
yeah,
amazing. So for everybody that's watching, Blenderman worked on the No Man's Sky community developers and designers font, which is called the Universal font here. Just go to it. This
it's
one.
universal because anyone can use
I get it.
it.
So Blenderman went and
So
corrected a lot of the weird character
there's two.
spacings.
Yeah, there's two fonts though. Like I had to do it twice.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I thought you just kind of
Yeah, there's
decided
two.
to use Futura.
No, I found that. I found that in the game files. It was hidden somewhere deep. I just looked for TTF files in the game files to look for the original No Man's Sky file. But then I found this one. So I was like, wow, nice find. And then I opened it up and it had the same exact problems the other phone did. So yeah, it was two times the work.
Nice. I'm
But
gonna just.
it looks good now.
It does. It looks amazing, and we're now using it on pretty much every site. So this site, the No Man's Sky Assistant homepage. There you go.
That's awesome.
I don't think this is
They have
using the GitHub
the
as a
latest version.
CDN. Yeah, so it's got its own version, its own copy, but it'll
You
catch up.
switch it over. Yeah.
Someone make a ticket for that. I'm just gonna
Somebody that's not Kurt make a ticket for that.
I'm just gonna post a link to the Discord if anyone wants to join in and talk. All right, so maybe let's go through the what is new
The
page because
first, what's new?
yeah, what is new,
What's new
Blandman?
in the app? What is? I don't know.
So first things first, we got a new guide submitted by
Oh yes, new
Circle16.
guide.
So,
Awesome.
oopsie, let's actually go there.
New guides are always awesome.
So we can actually view it here. Oop, update. So we can actually view it in here in the app.nmsassistant.com website, which is
That's awesome.
pretty much happy. It's still playing catch up. It's trying to catch up with the apps, but for the most part, the things are there. I'm seeing an issue here.
It
That
looks like
link,
it works. So
this link should be
what?
like
What's up?
turquoise. It's a little bit dark. Let's see what
Oh,
it looks like in light mode.
that's it.
Oh, that's blinding. And then it's a bit difficult to see it's a link. Alright. Someone add that to the trailer. Alright, but Circle16 did a
We need
cool guide
somebody
here.
to just. Yeah, it's an awesome guide. They have a lot to say
You'll,
about role playing and stuff. I have
you'll,
no idea so much went into.
and you'll see these images are lazy loaded. But, well, we got a pretty fast internet connection here, so it's loading pretty fast. Yeah, I'm quite excited. I know, oh, now I'm going to forget their name. Well, the leader
Zin,
of, yes, Zin,
Zin.
is very happy, very excited. I let her know when the Apple version went live. The Android one is obviously still not live, and we're still waiting for Google to catch up. But
Google's always playing catch up with Apple.
I miss the days when it took like 2 hours for Google to approve an update. Those were really good days. I th-
I'm pretty sure it's just one small step that's human, like that needs human, like approval or something, and that's where everything's piling up.
it must be, eh? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you were using the app at the time, but I once released an update. So my local version of the app, I was using like Flutter Master, so like the latest Flutter code. And on the build pipeline, I was not. I was using
You were,
stable.
yeah. That
And
that definitely is a problem.
so I was happily coding away and I was using the latest features and then pushed an update and um, the update went live. And for whatever reason that day, I just decided to download it onto my phone and just quickly check it. And as soon as I opened it, it's just this giant red screen with yellow text on it saying like, try to access a property on a null. And it's like, oh god. And
Developer's worst nightmare.
oh man. And then so then I quickly had to go and figure out the issue. It didn't take me too long because I knew there was a difference between the build and my local, but I figured like it's not that bad. I'll use
It's not
stable.
that big.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
use stable for the users. The app should be
That's
more
what
stable.
everyone. That's what everyone thinks, right? That's what everyone thinks. That's what Flutter should be. But it's not. That in an ideal world, there shouldn't be much difference. Things shouldn't just break. But
And if it
yeah,
breaks, it should
if you're
break.
not on master,
If
yeah,
it,
it should break nice. Like it should play nice.
but even
It
then,
should
in
not be
that
like
situation, it should have broken on the build. It shouldn't even have gotten to the Play Store. Anyway,
it's how
um,
Flutter is set up, I guess.
yeah. But I then just quickly I made the fix and then pushed an update, and then I started getting reviews. Like I started getting really bad reviews. Lots of one-star reviews saying like it's broken, it's broken. The latest update broke it, and I was like, oh man.
Uh,
But luckily, within like 2 hours, the update was live, and most people didn't get the bad one. They got the good version.
they got fast forwarded to the good stuff.
If that happened today, like it would take a week for
Ah,
that update to reach people. It would be absolutely terrible.
disaster.
All right, well let's get back to what is new. Um, okay, updated
You
some
got new
languages.
languages rolling in.
Well, they're not
Not new
new,
languages, just
just
they've been around
updates.
since the dawn of time.
We got French. New translation was submitted. Italian was updated, and then new refiner and cooking recipes. Now that is a good one. I'm quite excited about the update. Let's go to. That's not what I typed. Let's go to cactus flesh. It's my new favorite tester. All right. So we'll see used to create and then boom refined with. So
Ah, nice.
the little two, I'm still trying to figure out a better way of doing that, but that's supposed to be your output. So you can get 2 cactus flesh from refining 1 pyrite and 1 cactus flesh. In
You could add
the
an X in front of the number and change the color of the thing to make it more legible. It's not very. It's a light background and a light text color, so
it's
some kind
true.
of contrast would help.
Let me see. We can do that right now. Component.
Oh look, you're witnessing the next update live.
Programming with Kurt. Now, oh, okay, got it. So you want to see what it looks like with a little X in front of it?
Yeah, hopefully it's not that too off center.
Oh, I'm doing JavaScript right now.
You're in JavaScript mode.
JavaScript.
Or did you work on the web app? You worked on the web app, did you?
Yeah, I did.
That's gonna be a headache to like
All right,
switch your brain from React mode to this.
it always is.
Okay.
There we go, a little X.
Yeah, it looks better.
I
Again, with the text color or the background color, it could be different. It's just
Yes.
too light.
Let's do that. Text, ooh, text style. Let's try that color. Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. Now,
Yeah, the silence is palpable.
now, now here is the um, one of the outliers, one of the issues. Look at that guy.
Oh, we are. Is there an expanded like a oval modifier? Like it makes it oval instead of circle. We could use that. An elliptical car. This is called the notification thing, right?
A
It's a badge.
badge.
It's a badge.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a badge. So that's a custom library. That's not a Flutter thing. That's not a thing that Cool or Flutter just gives it to you. Just somebody else came up and made it. Is that
exactly.
right? Yeah. So we should explore if we have other shapes.
As you're
I
saying
would
that,
say
I'm seeing
the
it.
oval shape would work for. I would say the oval shape works for even the X one. It would work better than the circle.
Yeah, probably. Because
Times.
at the moment, let's go back to cactus. You'll see on cactus that the 1 and the 2 are different sizes.
Oh, what? Just a
Yeah,
little bit, but yeah.
it's a design choice.
Come on.
Oh, there's a square
One is
here.
bigger than two.
Oh no.
Oh crap.
Oh no. Position. That's got padding. Do we have margin? Oh, we don't have margin. All right.
Maybe
Well,
we should figure this out off stream.
probably. It's never a quick fix. Cause
Yeah, it's never something quick with like Flutter. Like if you change one thing, everything goes haywire. You gotta go back to the start and start fixing things.
oh boy, I'm breaking everything now. It's got
Yeah.
an alignment property, but it doesn't seem to respect it. I'm telling it
Oh.
to align center, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's not in the center.
Hmm. Okay, I had the same problem with the fab aligning, getting the fab to align. There was a weird like combination of alignments and things to like uh, make the fab. The problem that we have that's user faced when he couldn't click on the
Oh,
edit
yes.
button. Yeah, so I was changing the fab's
There we go.
location, and I had to finally finally
Yeah.
some blank space.
I added
Yeah,
a space of 40, a 40 whatever. I don't know what they're using. But it's a 40.
s-
Uh,
40 freedom units.
yes. And oh man, I added the space here and I knew that we had found another place where we needed to add space. And I went through all the pages, looking every single page, and I couldn't find the page that had the extra space. And it turned out it was this page, the inventory slots page.
Slots page, yeah. The page right next to it.
Let's add another item here. Boom, there we go.
Nice.
Um, oh yeah, and we had like a huge amount of bug fixes this release as well. Like last release and this release were primarily bug fixes. Ugh, words.
Bug squashing.
Hey Mateo, thank you for joining. So this one here, this bug fixes handle network images in Zoom. There was an issue where if you had a network image, like in this newest guide, this is an image that comes from the internet, so if you're offline, you won't get it. If you went to this image in the Zoom page, you wouldn't be able to see anything. Um, but now it will actually go and
Oh,
download the image, and then you can
okay.
zoom on it. This is actually a step in the right direction towards HD images being there for each item.
This
So
is a
that's
step.
fine.
This is
It's
a
a step.
stepping stone.
a small stepping stone.
You can't stand on it for a long time. It'll fall off.
We don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. The guide page also got. So we were using a very old library. Apparently, it was deprecated and the
Oh,
person gave up. Um, so you can't really tell. It looks. I mean, it looks exactly
yeah.
the same.
It looks.
But I
Yeah.
think the previous one had little borders here on the edges, and that's not there anymore. And this should also be. It seems to be a bit faster. I'm not sure, but it's throwing a lot less errors. And then we
Oh
had some.
yeah. When I was running it on the emulator, freaking out.
Yeah.
The errors were just like like if you touch the screen, it would throw like 50 errors.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was
but
something with.
happy to
I
see that fixed.
I think it was images. The images were just trying to expand into too big of a space that it didn't have.
Okay,
Something like that. Um,
something like that. It's always about
always about.
layout problems.
Let's go here. I just want to show. So the community missions uh, are now on the app, on the web app. Where am I? Where have I got the web app? Here we go.
Oh, nice.
And the percentage is also in the middle, which will make you happy.
Yes,
All
that
right.
looks way more legible.
Yeah, I just need to fix this one now.
Yeah, and like the colors, you just need to go and just make a nice palette for
The,
the whole thing.
yeah, the contrast is a
I
bit
think,
out.
yeah, teal is not cutting it.
Matteo says that he's found something, um, some bad info on products. So chromatic metal as a base material. That's incorrect. Chromatic metal as a base material. Let's see. Uh, I'm not sure. You cannot find chromatic metal digging outside.
Huh.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, is he talking about raw material or something? That oh, why don't you go to the raw material, the
What?
the first one in the catalog.
Raw materials. Is chromatic metal? Oh yeah, it is a raw material.
Well,
Um,
that's what the game says it is, though.
yeah, let's quickly check that on the wiki. That's the second most reliable source.
Yes, the first one being
Assistant for No Man's
No
Sky.
Man's Sky recipes.
So here it's a category special, used for building. But here it says it's a resource.
It's one of the special elements. It's a special resource. It's a special snowflake.
A special element. Now that sounds cool. Okay, yeah, these are kind of
Special
special.
elements are mainly used for. Oh,
I can
okay.
believe that. That liquid
Special
sun.
junk, huh?
Special junk. The liquid sun is pretty cool. Let me add that to my favorites. Oh, try antimatter. Okay. Antimatter. Antimatter is a crafted product.
That's true.
Yes. Antimatter is created with chromatic metal, but chromatic metal is made from copper. Um, I think you mean refined?
Oh, he wants it to. He wants it to say copper instead of chromatic metal in the crafted using because that's how you get the chromatic metal. What about the
Oh.
view? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's a refining recipe. That's
Chroma-
not a crafting.
yeah. And also chromatic metal can be refined with many different things. All of
Yeah.
the earth elements, the stellar metals. Yeah, that's what they call it.
Yes, exactly. Um, yeah, that's kind of difficult to do, Mateo, because you can go different levels of depths. So you could say that let's go look at like something complex like a stasis device. Stasis.
Oh, that's the holy grail right there.
Yeah, that's the biggest guy. So you could say that the stasis device is made of erudicite, and that contains uranium, but uranium can be crafted from ionized cobalt, but ionized cobalt can be refined with,
Is refined from cobalt.
yeah, like marrow bulb and cobalt. So then you get like these weird, these weird recipes. So a stasis device
Wait a
doesn't,
second. What? Marrow bulb?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this shit.
Yeah, have you never
Oh,
seen a
legit.
marrow
Okay.
bulb?
I I have seen a marrow bulb, but I've just like that's. I was like, that's the most useless thing ever because the sodium plants right outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are the ones in,
Ionized cobalt.
I think they're in the
In the
cave.
source.
Yeah, they're in the caves.
Yeah, they are in the game.
Yeah.
Marrow plants.
Don't look at
Mm,
that. Don't look
they're
at
the
that number.
shiny plants. That doesn't
um,
mean anything.
don't look at that number. It doesn't exist. Yeah. So Matteo, for cooking and refining, well, we kind of avoid them because there's so many ways to make something in refining and cooking. So like one item can have, I think there's one item that has 37 recipes. So we would have to choose which one of those 37
Yeah.
recipes to display. And
Which one of the raw materials for all those, like one of those, whatever recipe we chose?
uh,
That's gonna be like
oh, for like
dependent on the
stasis.
person.
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
whatever recipes, whatever refining recipes the person prefers. Um, but you had an idea on that.
This shows.
Um, you had an
You
idea on
said
that,
something.
Blenderman, for adding cooking items to the cart, which has the exact same issue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, instead of I was thinking about it in terms of like just the item, not the recipe, and that's not how the game treats it. Right? There's different recipes for the same item.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's the problem.
there is a possibility that we might allow adding cooking items to the cart, but then the cooking
But
items,
you have to choose the recipe. You have to choose the recipe for the cooking.
yeah, so they won't be part of this. They'll most likely not be part of this all required materials, but there'll be another button or something that you can say you want to cook all these items in your cart, and then from there you choose the recipes that you would want to follow for each of
Oh,
the
that's
ingredients.
one. Okay,
Um,
that's one way to do it.
yeah, that should. I think it would
But
be
that's
useful,
yeah.
but maybe
It
it'll be
would be a
more.
good addition to this feature.
Yeah, maybe like a few people will use it. I think something that people have asked for a lot is like a cooking catalog tracker. So let's say your goal is to go and cook every single meal in No Man's Sky at least once. Um, then you could go into like this cooking item and tick it somewhere and say like I have completed this item. Um,
I've cooked this
yep.
and given it to that slog in the anomaly.
Yes, which brings
It
another
does nothing
discussion.
but just eat.
This cooking value.
Oh, oh shit! Nah, we're not talking about that.
the, I mean, this thing confuses the absolute like hell out of me. I don't understand. Uh, all right, so the way that it works is in Game Pass you have a cooking value, and the cooking value is a value from 0 to 1. And when I try to group them together, I got like a 0.2, 0.5, 0.75, 0.8, and a 1. And that means like almost nothing. If you got a 0.2 cooking value, you can get 5 nanites or you can get 10 nanites. So there's no real easy formula to figure out how many nanites you can get from an item. Because you can also get, I think you can get like, even if you got a value of 1, there's a possibility that you will get like a 5 nanites from it. So it's kind of procedurally generated. You
There's
can't see
no
my air
one to
quotes.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no 1 to 1. That's way better
There's
way of saying it.
there's no one to one. Yeah, it's just how the game's set up. It's just weird.
Yeah. So all I've done is I've converted that value from that's between 0 and 1 to a percentage, and, and then it just displayed the percentage. So if you
Do
like
what you want
seeing,
with that.
yeah, if you like seeing 100%, then I'm happy. If you don't, then I'm sorry. I can't think of a better way to display it. And then imagine I wanted to add like a little tooltip that would like explain the whole situation and where this value comes from, but man, to translate that as well is just an absolute headache. We're
We should
actually,
add all the help stuff once we get all the translations, somewhere automated and stuff. Once we figure that out, we'll just like spam the app with like tooltips.
I agree. Um, I've actually got, so there's this thing called remote configs that the app is actually using. I think this one, there we go. So we could have it in a way that we add all of the
Oh,
languages, and then once everything is ready to go from within this remote configs dashboard, we could switch on the setting and be like enable tooltips, and then all apps that are connecting to remote configs will then get that new setting and will then say, cool, um, I'll now display all the tooltips. So we can have these feature flags. I think that's a better word for it, feature
nice.
flags.
So you can enable and disable features as you wish with this.
Yeah, and there's some
You
good
just
examples
you just
here.
have to have that. Uh huh.
Yeah, like
Oh,
you have different your connection strings or whether or not you want to track analytics. You can turn that on and off or sales. It's got a pretty cool REST API, so you can get the value.
you just you just scroll back up after seeing the pricing.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. So, I mean, the thing that you can cheat the system a little bit is a setting. So you
Say,
get 5 free, but in a setting you could put a JSON object. So
uh,
you can kind of cheat the system. You can just be like, you can
yeah,
decide that this app is the whole value for this app can be like a 1 megabyte big ass
one
JSON,
setting.
and it
Yeah.
takes up one setting, and you don't have to pay. Not that I would do that, of course not. Not that I've tried.
Matteo asked.
Oh yeah.
He says, "What's the name of the cooking refiner? It's the nutrient refiner, the nutrient
Uh,
processor."
yes, nutrient processor.
That's in English. I'm not sure what that is in Italian.
I can tell you now using this nifty website, nutrient processor. So once you've selected it, then you can change language. This one.
Oh God, why? Why
it's
hello again?
it's that
What is
Mateo.
this?
I'm not gonna try and say it.
Oh God.
um, I would like to add that into the app one day, just to be able to say like, oh, I wonder what this item is in a different language, and then just change the language from the screen. But where do we fit that button?
So okay, the home button is required because that's how navigation works
This
in the
one,
app.
I'm not really sure how many people use it, so I don't even know if people would get upset if we removed it. I mean, I like
The
it,
you have analytics set up, right?
yes, but I'm not tracking that button. I'm not tracking any of these.
Uh,
Well, we could add it
okay,
for a
do that.
week and then see what
Yeah,
what happens.
see the trend.
Um, oh, I see the what is new is not translated into Italian. Oh, maybe
That's
the website's a bit behind. Hmm. We could try it in the app. The app's got the latest. Italian. Oh, oh. Okay. Oh yeah. What is new is called what is new. All right. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get lost. You know how happy I was. So it used to be that you could change the translation just from here, and I w- I wouldn't get the list to update. So you would change the language, and the list would still be in English, and then you would go somewhere else, and then come back, and then it would be in the
Come
correct
back.
language.
Oh,
Um, and I was so happy when I finally got it working. And I was so used to seeing the English order of all the items that once I
uh-huh.
changed it to a different
Yeah.
language,
I
then
was
the order's
gonna
different.
I was gonna talk about that. Yeah.
I love it.
That's different.
The
Yeah.
Russian one, I think that's Russian. Yeah, that's Russian. Um, this one I kind of used to check if there's um, issues with the translation. And I could see here there's a Exocraft Signal Booster Upgrade Sigma. So that tells me that this is not being translated in any of the languages. Alright,
Oh,
that's a bug. Let's go.
that's a bug, but that's not on the app side. That's the data repo fetching, right?
Yeah, that's the data issue. That just means
Is
that this item exists in the apps files, but it doesn't exist in the game file, so it's not linking up properly. And then the
or it's
translations.
existing somewhere else. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Alright.
It's a mess. It's a mess. The game files are a mess. It's just widely known.
Mateo says it didn't. The button for builded objects, but it misses for cooked objects. Um, is that. Let's go back to English. Is that because the nutrient processor is a building item and not a cooking
Is that a
item?
building it?
It's a constructor
Oh, it's a
technology.
portable constructed.
Yeah. And I assume if you search in the cooking, well, you definitely won't see it in the cooking because these are all cooking items. There's no tech in here. Eh, eh. Um, Mateo also asked, is there a new update from Hello Games? Not that I know of. I haven't seen anything.
I
Um,
just went offline for a bit.
yeah, welcome
And
back.
Mateo is asking for any news from Hello Games.
Yeah,
They don't talk. I don't think they can talk. If they have to sign contracts and like remove their vocal cords when they start working for Hello Games. They don't want to talk.
yeah, it's very frustrating because I'd like to hear what they're working on.
Yeah, and also why the hell some stuff doesn't work like it's supposed to, like the multiplayer.
I'm sure they wouldn't want to talk about that, like even if they had
They would
weekly
not want to talk
sessions.
about it, which is that's just the reason why they don't talk about anything. Because if they talk about one thing, everyone's gonna be like piling up on them, and they're a
Yeah.
pretty small team, so I don't know how they can. The scale of this game is absolutely massive, but the people working on it is just 4 people, 5 people.
Yeah, and they focused on their new game as well.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that too. Like how are they doing this? So they might not have such a big update this time, maybe with all the remote working and new game coming out.
although,
Maybe it's not like a
if you look at Steam charts, let's go. You can see that they have a yearly update, or there's a pattern to it. No Man's Sky. Yeah, here we go.
yeah. Procedural travel talked about that. Yeah,
Oof.
last
Okay,
week.
that must be an error because
Oh,
that's 0. Um, where do we want it? All
zero
time.
number of players. Wow.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So you can see the bumps. So here it's peak was August. Here its peak was July-ish, August. Here is August, and I'm expecting that something's coming out in August. Um, there's a lot of red there. Let's not look
One
at the
can
red.
hope.
Maybe it'll be something as big as 2018. This, you see how lucky I was. I released the app like the beginning of August, so I got all of these people that were joining, all these people
Yeah,
that were starting to play No Man's
yeah.
Sky. Got a surge of players, and
Nice.
it'll be a year soon. It's not very far away.
We should do something for the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah,
Of,
but what? Rebrand, get a whole
I
new
don't know.
icon. Uh,
Yeah, it's like just
oh man. All right, let's see.
start charging people.
Yeah, like server costs have to be paid of some time, people. Buy premium version. Oh, the thing that I wanted to talk about was, so we have the new website, the NMSCD website, but we also, did I scroll past it? I did. Here we go. We've also got our own Discord for all of you, so now you can be jealous. Although you guys are invited to join the Discord. I did send the invite link in the stream, so you can join just for the DevTalk. You won't be able to get to all the cool developer channels unless you get I don't know, unless you start helping out, I guess. Then you're welcome to. We actually got a good number of users. Okay, not that one. Here we go. So we got 17 people that have made themselves public. No, wait, no, this is total. This is total. So 17 people total that have joined, who are all developers, designers.
That's a sizable community
Yeah.
for something that started out a week or 2 weeks ago.
I wanted to join the Warframe community developers when I was playing Warframe back in the day. And
Back
they
in the
had,
day.
I think they had a maximum of 7 players, seven people in it, something like that. And I really wanted to join. And then I
Wait a
built
second.
yeah.
Procedural Traveler commented like a long time ago. Did you see that
Oh
on the
no, I
video?
didn't. Oh,
This is
no, I didn't at
he
all.
completely. Oh my god! This was when was this? He says I finally made it to one of your streams, and fuck, we just ghosted him.
Sorry, Procedure Traveler. We, you're sitting there being like, notice me, senpai. We notice you, don't worry.
Are you serious? Are you telling me Procedural Traveler saying? Yeah,
No, it's a dream. It's a fantasy.
it's a dream. Yeah, romantic dream.
But yeah, so we got a good number of people. We just got to integrate a bit more. I think we have an opportunity with where is their account now? This one with DW, the guy that runs Atlas Codex, and
Okay.
who else has a big database? Oh, the Portal repository. Yeah, I sent them an email, so hopefully they join.
Yeah, they like the font, so they might join.
Yeah.
I commented on the Trello card.
I didn't even realize
If
it was.
you
You could comment on it.
yeah, you can comment on it. It's a public on a public board. You can comment on.
Really? No one has commented on our public board. Oh, I haven't noticed. I hope no one has.
About Dev Roadmap, right? There's a Dev Roadmap.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Uh,
No,
they
that's
moved it. They
advertisement.
moved it from.
No,
They
wait, yeah.
moved it from delayed.
Oh,
They
yes.
moved it because of yeah
Oh.
yeah that
Oh, he did respond to you.
yeah. I did not.
Oh,
I did not
nice.
expect that. Let me tell you what. Look at the last. Look at the comment before, like below mine.
Below yours. Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at the activity like below mine. He moved the card from in progress to delayed on December 12th, 2018.
Oh, yes,
I thought
yes.
this thing was yeah. And then I was like, I didn't notice that, and then I just commented this. Like I was like, let's chill out point. And then I noticed that, and it was like, oh shit, is this thing dead?
I sent him an email, but he
And
didn't respond to me.
he didn't respond to me afterwards either, so I'm not sure. Maybe he's working on something
Well, let's send him a message.
else. Don't add him. Poor dude, he's just his Trello is blowing up now.
Oops. And now I can't type. Would you like to join the NMS CD? And let's chuck in a link there.
Seems very thirsty to me.
I am very thirsty. I'd like everyone to join, because I think it would be pretty cool if we
That's-
could integrate.
That's a noble cause. That's a noble cause to be thirsty, bro.
If we could
You get
integrate
this.
with his portal database, so like get users from the
that'd be
apps
nice.
to post
Mhm.
to his database, so add stuff to his database and then be able to view his database. I think that'd be very cool.
That would be an awesome. Yeah, that would be an awesome feature. That would be an epic feature.
We have someone in the chat. I'm not going to try and say your name because I'm going to butcher it terribly. I'll call you Mad. He's saying, "Notice me, senpai." Hello.
Oh my god, that's my friend.
Oh, is it?
You can call him. No, you don't. You don't call him. No,
Yeah,
just
we'll just
ignore him.
acknowledge. All right, cool. It's sent. I can't unsend it. It's too late. Um,
Even I got. Why did I get a notification? Okay, I'm watching that guy.
oh, okay.
Like, when will he respond?
Oh, I'll probably
It's
okay.
like
I'll get it when he responds to
because
that.
it's not like the font that I edited. I just want more people to take a look because I don't know if it's completely fixed, and I'm running out of time on the like the demo, the trial evaluation copy of the font editing software that I have is
Oh
running out
yes.
in like a week. Then I don't think I can edit it, or I have to do some registry shit to like get it back, get the trial back.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
I guess you could spin
so
up a
I just
virtual
want.
machine and install it there.
Well, why would I do that? That's just too much work. It's on a laptop, man. I don't have a PC like you. Like some
Yeah.
people.
I mean, they can be pretty dangerous as well. Because when I did it the first time, I didn't switch on. I didn't turn off the hypervisor on Windows because that's on by default. So by default, your Windows actually runs in a virtual machine. And if you try to
Oh
run a
yeah,
virtual machine in a
that's
virtual machine, uh, really
that's
bad
gonna
stuff
happen.
happens.
Yeah,
You get blue screens.
yeah, yeah.
The same thing with Docker. I had the issue with Docker as well.
And I have no idea how Docker works. Just I looked at it. I wanted to run it for something. I don't remember, but it was for No Man's Sky. But then I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I had to use Docker for that. So I just like I did not stick around to kind of like get what's Docker? Is it like a environment thing? Like just set everything up in that one box.
So I've only
What's
installed
up
it
with that?
before and read stuff about it, but from what I understand, it's pretty much like a text file that describes what the environment will look like, and then Docker is able to read that file and then have an environment, create an environment with everything that you've specified, and it's super reproducible, which means you'll have the same environment every single time.
Just send that text file to somebody else, and Docker will set it up exactly the same way.
Yeah, although I imagine there must be a large amount of binary data to like set up Windows, for example, or like a Ubuntu operating system where you could host something. So maybe it's not just a text file. Maybe there's a whole build process, but you can copy across that Docker image, and you could have something like
Mm,
an email server in that Docker image, and then you could have another server for something else and another Docker image. So that way, these these things are isolated, and if the email one is getting flooded, you could just make a new one, just clone it, and now you've got two, and it can handle almost double the load. Um,
oh, they point to the same stuff. So okay,
the only problem comes in with, well, what I've heard is debugging. If you have this big
oh,
system that is running on like 10 different Docker images, and you want to try and figure out a bug, you'd have to run all 10 of those on your machine, and that
oh,
can
crap.
that usually doesn't work. So you have to have like good tests so that you can figure out bugs when you've just got one Docker in front of you. Um, yeah.
It seems like just way too much work. But
The thing that's so funny to me about it is that you have this Docker that now it solves a problem, and then people are going crazy and like, oh, this is such a cool technology, and so they start using it to the point where um, they get so many Docker images that it becomes difficult to maintain, and then they create another solutions to manage Docker swarms. So there's a
for Docker,
swarm of these Dockers, and you need something to manage it. But my point is like if you start using that and going crazy with that, at some point you're going to have lots of swarms and someone's going to need to manage, or some software is going to need to
what's
manage your
that?
swarms.
Manage the manage swarms. Yeah, management software for the management software that manages another software. It's management. There you
Well, future's probably not that bleak, but
go.
it's a little bit funny to think about.
Yeah.
Let's just check quickly. So I forgot to add one of the contributors again. And okay, cool. Aurelian is showing up here.
Yeah. She's the Illuminati, everyone. Stay away.
What happens if I click on the... Okay, cool. That was... I didn't actually know what would happen if they didn't give a link and you click on it. So let's close all that.
Oh, man.
Let me actually see. Do you think it's throwing an error when we're trying to do that? Oh boy. Oh boy, it's actually throwing a
Is it?
lot of errors.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Is it because of the HTTP library or something?
Yeah, it
So,
says cannot launch /. So, I mean, that makes sense. Ooh. Oh, okay, cool.
oh, crap.
That,
Okay.
it broke my
It's
log.
because everything.
There
The
you go.
error broke your log.
There it
That's
is.
how bad it was.
That's
This is
the
one
error.
one of the tamer. This is one of the tamer errors, isn't it? Because there's probably like threads. In some errors, it's in like
Yes.
3 sub threads or something, and then
Yes.
that error has to propagate back to the source thread from
Yeah,
that thread,
yeah,
and
you can see the stack.
you just get
So this
yeah.
is an image is too big for a list item. So someone's image here, probably Vapor, his image is bigger than what the list tile is expecting, and so it just throws that error, and then all of this comes from that. And then it tries to tell you where the issue was.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Did you see the new logging? This is the new logging framework. It puts it in these little squares.
Oh.
Tells you
Oh.
where it came from. And
What
there's
the
little...
hell is CTOR though? I do not understand like half of these messages. First of all, the number of
Oh,
items is fine. Right? It's the number of items that are loaded. What's that? What's
CTOR is
CTOR?
constructor. So
Oh.
every time, where's that list now? This list. So this list gets used in a lot of places. So every time it gets launched, it just says like,
You
hey,
get
I've
the
launched.
constructor.
So luckily it doesn't happen all that often. And we got a subscriber there, and I can't see it. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I'm not going to say your name. I'm sorry. It's your friend,
Let's
Blender
call
Man.
him Madhu.
Madhu.
Let's call him Madhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was that?
That
Oh.
was part of his name.
Oh no, now I typed hi. So when this list used to...
Okay, yeah. He could call him Noob Cubed. That's his gamer tag. Noob Cubed.
No Q.
That's him.
Oh, okay.
Noob. He's a
Noob.
noob. He's a noob. Yeah, and he's cubed.
Oh, okay. That is quite an interesting gamer name. Uh,
Yeah. He's definitely not a noob. He wrecks everyone in every game.
oh, so
And I'm very jealous about.
he's just saying that to confuse people.
Yeah, he's a what's that? A Smurf.
Oh yes, that's a CS:GO thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Or it originated from CS:GO, but now it's used everywhere.
Everywhere probably. I'm not sure. I'm not up to date with the whole CS:GO thing. Oh wait, we were supposed to talk about moving everything online. What happened?
No, no, no. You want to we're talking about moving everything online. I do not. You can make your
Hey
point.
man, you gotta do it.
I'll listen. I just don't want to start. I
It's
just want
gotta
to...
be done. It's just gotta be done. So someday or another. But it is a moonshot, so it we have enough. Like it's not like you gotta make it tomorrow or something.
So for everyone, one of the issues we have is um, a lot of the content in the apps are local, so they're within the app. So, for example, for you to get a new guide, you have to update the app because these guides are in here
Which
offline, which is not great. And if someone wants to make a correction on a guide, they have to wait for the update to come out. And now with Google and iOS taking forever to process updates, it's not a great situation. So
and also not to mention the app size is growing.
yes, the app size is growing, and
Yeah.
Blenderman will attest to how I hate um, unnecessary space
Big.
being taken up.
Yeah.
We
If you have a better way of doing it, you should take it.
Yeah,
That's
if
yeah.
you look at the No Man's Sky Assistant website, if we do a hard refresh and load all the resources, you'll see that it's 1.3 megabytes, which is a little bit fat, a little bit bulky, but that's because there's some bad people here that have GIFs as their images.
How dare you show my image with some bad people? I gave you a JPEG. I can't go lower than that.
And there's these terrible fonts that take up almost 100 kilobytes. Oh.
Hey, fuck you, buddy. You wanna go back to your font? Be my guest.
Now watch this. This is cool. So in an attempt to reduce the amount of data that gets loaded on the website, as we scroll down, you'll see more network requests come in. There they come. As more images are loaded. The problem is like it loads these contributor images way too soon. Like they need to be, oopsie, they need to come a lot later. Let's do that again.
That's because lazy loading wasn't working somewhere. I think it wasn't working on Firefox or something.
Could be, but it is working now. But it is loading all of the contributors, which it shouldn't be doing. And I can fix that. See now the NMS CD image came in, which is right at the bottom here. These 4 images. So I can make a fix to make this a little bit better, where I use a bit more JavaScript to load these in later, but I don't really want to. I want to stay away from JavaScript as much as possible, just because it makes the site slow, and JavaScript's not good, guys.
It's not good. Just make static sites.
That being said, this entire site is built with JavaScript. It is like all of the JavaScript that I could fit in.
Yes, it's impossible to not build that without JavaScript. Like half the functionality just won't be there.
But this one needs it. It needs all these pages and all these fancy things, where this site really does not need it. It can just be static. It can be flat files. Go back to the top. Anyway, we got distracted. We were talking about moving the guides online.
Moving everything online.
Okay, but the first step is guides.
Okay, sure. Sure, I can see that point.
Guides is it's a very large move, because everything was designed to be put on the device. So it is taking some time, and there is now a process where people can actually go and create guides. So let me go to that page quickly. So let's clear that. So you can create a guide here, and you give it some basic data, and then you start adding sections to it. We're just going to do some text and some text here, and you can start loading images and tables and all sorts of things. You go crazy. Oh, I'm in advanced mode. Let me just turn that off quickly. Okay, and then you can just hit the submit button and then leave your contact details, and that'll come to all of the admins. We can then see the submitted file, submitted guide, and then we can approve or disapprove it. At the moment, the approval process is still manual, in the sense that we need to download it and add
Move
it.
Yeah. Move it to the app.
Where in the future it would be nice to just click a button and then have the guide move on the server to wherever it needs to be, and then the apps can load the guides from there. I see that NoobCube asked how big is the app size, and I will show you.
It's 43 something megabytes, isn't it?
Yes.
42, 43.
Here we go. So it's not that big, but the problem is there's a trend here. So you can see we started off at 42, and then went to 43, 44, 45, and we're now at 45.
Oh, it's at 45.
Yeah. So the framework we're using comes with a lot of baggage. Flutter just does come with a lot of weight. At least it's not that much on Android. On iOS, it's like 120 megabytes just to have a basic Hello World app.
Oh crap.
And every time we add pictures to this app, it gets fatter. So that's why all the images are not the full size images. I'm looking for this one. So all of these images are 128 by 128 instead of 256 by 256. So they're half the size.
What's in the source file. Yeah.
And well, it's half the size, but it's also like a fourth of the size, isn't it? It's half the
Half the
pixels.
image size, but yeah, but for a fourth of the file size.
Yeah, something like that. And these are also
But it's
heavily
optimized.
optimized. You knew I was going to say it.
Yeah,
So images right now,
he just went crazy.
images right now are 14 megabytes on disk, but that's just because there's a lot of them. They're basically 11 megabytes, which is quite a bit of the 40 megabytes.
1,000, 1,380. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a lot of files.
I would assume it to way more than 14 megabytes if it was just images from a camera or something.
There are some optimizations that can be done here. I've done it before where I'll go and see like, okay, image 29 is used on 32, 33. Like it's used a lot, especially in cooking. They repeat the images a lot. Um,
Yeah,
this is extremely annoying work to do though, and very
it's
confusing.
manual. It's the whole thing is manual. Yeah,
It's,
and if they add something else that changes the game file structure,
oh
it's
my
gonna get
goodness.
fucked.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. Um,
Yeah.
so let's not even think about that. But doing that would actually save us quite a bit of space. Like, I mean, look at this guy. You would be
It just kicks.
you would save 100 kilobytes just by deleting these guys.
Nice.
So, and then also technology. I think it's technology. These guys also get reused a lot. That's why
Yeah, the circuit board, the
you'll
wheels. Yeah.
you'll see I avoid using these for the what is this item game, just because they repeat so much.
Yeah, that's good on
Although I did do it once for
you.
the
Once
purple egg.
you did it the first time, and then you got shat on by everyone.
I knew people would be slightly upset, but I had to do it for Easter.
Ah man, you could have given them another clue or something.
But if I said it's purple, I
Perhaps.
mean, that just gives it away. Oh, yeah. Time for a little soda. Yeah, people already get it pretty quickly. I've been trying to think of ways to make it more difficult. Um, Force them to leave screenshots or ask them what is this item in Italian, because that's pretty hard to do with the apps. Or with the website,
Oh
it's
crap.
easy. You know, you can choose bloody organ and then just go Italian, and now you know.
Oh god.
Oh, let me talk just quickly about server-side rendering.
What's up?
So so I have a problem with the website. If we take this link and we send it to someone, so let me try and find something that's not scary. Maybe people are gonna do stuff. You guys can join that link. I don't care. Temporary meetings. If I paste it in here, right, and send it, you'll see that the metadata that I get once it arrives. There we go. It says assistant for No Man's Sky, assistant for No Man's Sky, which is great, but it's not specific to that item that I was sending, which is what I would want.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not in the title or something.
yes. So
Oh,
this one
it's
is
the
even
same thing
better.
for everything.
So this one actually uses the image that is included in there.
Favicon. The
Yeah.
favicon.
There's a
Yeah.
different, I can't remember what it's called now. I'll be able to tell you. Ah, everything is minified to. If we do this, you can go check. So it's all of these tags here. There we go. So
Oh.
the meta image tag, the OG URL, that's for Facebook stuff. The Twitter site and Twitter card. Oh, here's the Twitter image. Oh, wow, that's an old link. Okay, I should probably go and update that. Anyway, the point is that I would want this image to show up, and this name and this description and all of that good stuff. So
Yeah.
in order for that to happen, um, I would need that information to be on the server. So when the request comes in, because right now, if you load this page up, you get a very basic page. I think so. It'll have everything up until this point. Oh, this point, and it'll be empty. So it would look like that. The whole page would look like that. and then the JavaScript
Yes.
kicks in and then loads all of this data and even goes and does fetches and things like that. So this data comes in a lot later. Um, so server-side rendering would kind of get rid of that completely, and we'd have this website build on the server whenever someone makes a request. So it means that your response time is a little bit slower to get the site, but once you get the site, the whole thing is there. It's already built. Um, and then the React JavaScript stuff should kick in a little bit later, and you should be able to navigate around as normal. Um, the problem is that when I designed this, I had never done any server-side rendering, and I didn't feel like it was necessary. And now to move to server-side rendering, I literally have to start this all over again. I can keep a lot of the components because they're React components, but all these pages are going to have to be redone and done in another way. And then the server that I'm hosting it on also needs to change because now I
Oh,
can't host
change.
it.
Yeah.
I can't host it as just an HTML file with lots of JavaScript. Now it has to be a node process running, and I have to
Yeah,
proxy.
it's a server,
Oh man, it gets really complicated. But it makes me very sad that I'm not getting this metadata. Because if we do it for something like the wiki, it works for the wiki because they are using, well, I hope it's not PHP, but they're using some sort of server-side rendering, some sort of
Oh,
backend.
some news for you.
Oh yeah,
Austin Shackelford, the guy, the portal repository guy,
yeah.
he just put the powered by NMS community devs and designers on Trello card.
No way.
Like, yeah, he put it on his card. He's like advertising NMS CD.
Uh, oh yes,
Awesome.
portal repository. I got to see this now. Um,
About dev roadmap.
you know he's gonna get it wrong. Oh, just quickly, NoobCube had an opinion on the images. He said, would it be better off being part of the app? At least the icons. It might not affect the users to wait for a second or two for a guide to load up. Might not look good if an icon doesn't load up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's for sure. You can keep the images. The thing was we needed HD images only, not the optimized ones. We can keep that in the app, I guess. But the HD images, we can ask the users to like download them separately. Something.
yeah. I think that'll be nice. I don't know if you've seen on our trailer board, but I put something in there for us to check if a user is connected to the internet, because that would be nice if we're on this page and they are connected to the internet. We could put something on the left hand side like an HD, and on clicking that, it could then zoom
Uh,
in and then bring the HD image
we
in
should
here.
have we should have local like device caching as well. Like whatever they're downloading, we should make
Mm.
sure they don't have to re-download the thing every time they open the app or something. Should implement some
Yeah,
caching or something.
yeah, that would be really
That's
good. Mateo says that
but
there's an
it's really
issue with
good.
community links. So he says that Eisentam Orbital Hub. Eisentam Orbital Hub. Oh yes, this is a
Doesn't
Discord server.
is it? Oh, it's a time limited
Oh, it's
invite link.
expired.
We should probably tell them.
Um, I can make an invite actually. I am in that server. Let's do that quickly. Then everyone can see how those are done. Okay, set it to never. Generate. Copy. Alright. Let's go to tools. Tools login actually. Alright, so now we're now going to
You
go
need
into.
buttons. Where's the admin button? Where's the admin button? Come on.
No, 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 no. No admin button.
Just, just
Alright.
you gotta know the secret word, secret code phrase
Yeah. So I
to get into
don't.
it.
I mean, it's not for security reasons. Like, I'm not trying to hide the login page to avoid hackers
He's
because.
just lazy. He's just lazy,
No, well, if. Okay, so I'm not hiding the login button to avoid hackers because that's silly. Hackers will find it anyway. I just don't
Yeah,
think
they
that.
don't look at buttons. Okay.
Yeah, they'd figure it out. And I don't think I just don't think it's worth it to have a login button that only caters for like the 6 of us that have access, versus however many people go onto the site. It
Okay.
might be confusing.
So if you have more people joining in, then you'll add the login button.
Yeah, but I mean, if more people
Everybody
join,
just join this.
if more people join the admin console, then it doesn't seem like it's doing its job. Let's just delete everything. There you go. So now, Matteo, if you go try it now, it should be fixed.
What you were doing there, you were deleting the Redis cache.
Actually, this is the in-memory cache. It's got my face.
What's the difference?
So the API has its own memory, and Redis acts as its own server with its own memory. So
Okay, you gotta look at that card. He's going off.
I gotta look at the card.
The
Oh,
Trello card, the portal repository.
oh, it's gone. It was in testing. What happened?
It's ongoing now.
Ongoing.
No, wait, what?
It's gone.
He moved the card. Oh god, he moved it.
Oh, it's incomplete.
It's incomplete.
Fixed font.
That's the He
Awesome.
you see that?
Yeah, that's really awesome.
He added the image. Yeah.
That
Wow.
makes me happy. So it fixed all the problems that he didn't want to deal with.
The underscore.
Yeah, the underscore is.
Damn underscore.
That is maybe. I mean, get an example of what the underscore used to look like.
It's on the readme.
Yeah. All right. Cool. This one. This one. So, I think this one shows it the best. If I can just get it into full screen. Okay, that one is weird.
Okay.
Let's do this one. No, that's the corrected one.
Yeah,
That one.
This is a better one. That didn't have the underscore problems.
Yeah, this
Why
image
is
is
it loading like this?
image is a little bit weird.
Why is it loading like that? But then you can compare, kind of.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. So this is supposed to say Yaku. There's a Z there.
Yakuza.
And then the A and the S are joined.
Underscore S.
Yeah, and it's like the underscore had like negative everything. It subtracted everything.
The underscore didn't matter. It just didn't matter as a character to this font. Scroll to the right in this image.
To the right.
It's
Oh,
zoomed in or
yes.
something. Yeah, there's the fixed one. Why is it? Oh god. Can you zoom out on something?
No, it doesn't look like it. Let's do this. Hey, that's...
Yeah, now you can zoom out. Yeah.
That's so strange. Okay, well, there you go. Now you can see the weirdness. So that's what BlenderMan fixed. After much struggle.
No, it does look kind of cool. It looks like the A and the S were just like it's merged. It's
You
fused.
take that back.
Fusion.
Fusion.
Yeah, it just fit right into the S.
You know what would be nice is if you had a lot of these examples on the repo and you said like, here's one of the issues that was solved.
Fixed.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
what was the other one? Was it like that? Oh yeah, the A and the S.
A and the S.
Yeah, that's a
Look at that
problem.
shit.
And the SEI as well.
Distancing.
Social distancing. Yeah, you fixed a lot of these characters, man. Yeah, and this is what it looks like
And
now.
I thickened it as well so that you can actually see it on the app or on the website. You couldn't just see it anywhere else if you used it in a smaller size than I think this is probably like font size 40 or something.
Oh
So,
yeah.
if it was a font size 12, which is normal for like websites, you couldn't see this. You couldn't see the original. Like it was so thin that it would just disappear into the back.
Yeah.
Like Homer Simpson. So that's one thing I changed the font weight, default font weight.
And everyone can go and use this on their websites now. It's literally one line of code in a CSS file, and then you've got the font, and your website's ready to go.
Yeah, and I put the font family names or just right on top of each input statement.
Yeah,
So there you go. Everything you need is on this README.
easy as pie. Now, Assistant for No Man's Sky's just got to make use of it properly.
Yeah, just put that in the. I don't know what your build process is, but yeah, I'm guessing it's not manual. I'm guessing you're not importing everything on your own. You're just telling your uh, builder, website builder application to like just like go ahead, build the website for me,
Yes,
like
yes. That
some kind of slave owner.
that we can discuss on another dev talk. And I was going to talk about the Redis stuff, but I think we can do that for another one as well,
Yeah,
where I can show you what it looks
this is a
like.
rabbit hole. This
Yeah,
is a rabbit hole.
it's a very big rabbit. Oh, I didn't go for all. That's the one we need. So then we can go through all these pretty colors here and how they work. Um, I think let's do something like a raid for the first time. I see Procedural Traveler is not too busy in his Discord, so we can hop over to his Discord.
Yeah,
Um,
is he in a voice channel or something? Oh yeah, he's in a voice channel. Cool.
Matteo, I see you said Eisentam is incorrect. Uh, yeah, it does actually look a bit iffy, but it is a Discord server. Um, it's one of our partners' Discord server, so we are supporting them. um, and yeah, so let's put that link in there. So we're gonna go to Procedure Traveler. So if you guys wanna follow us there, we're gonna go chat with Procedure Traveler and see what he's been up to this week. But thank you for joining, and thank you for the 2 new people that subbed, Mateo and I've now
Noob
forgotten his
Cube.
name. Oh, and NoobCube as well.
He's
So
Noob Cube.
3 people.
Yeah.
Um, thank you all. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy.